Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be doing this video today because I'm doing a first impression of a couple of products and it has a different ending than I thought it would. Today I'm trying out the Tarte Shape Tape, the Glossier Cloud Paint, and the Catrice Cosmetics Highlighting Powder, and I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for you guys to see what I think and whether I like things or whether I hate things, because there are some things I wasn't totally crazy about, and I hope none of you get mad. Also, I hope you guys stick around by subscribing because I just had a giveaway that just ended, but the next giveaway will be once we hit 500 subscribers, so go ahead and click that subscribe button. Help you become a part of the fam, and to all those who were entered in the giveaway, I am working on picking a winner. I'm reading all of your comments. They are all so kind, so thank you guys so much for all the love and support. It has meant so much, and I'm really looking forward to posting a lot more kind of emotional, personal videos. A couple of you guys have asked that I do that, and so I definitely want to. I'm just kind of building up the courage to actually post videos like that. But I wanted to just say thank you. You guys are absolutely amazing. You mean the world to me, and that's kind of all I wanted to say. I hope you enjoy this video, my first impressions, and let's get into it. Also, you guys, my hair is wet and drying. I'm not sure how wet it is when I started filming this video, but if all of a sudden my hair goes to looking like this, like kind of dry to being super wet, it's because I just got out of the shower and I was just kind of getting ready and just letting my hair air dry. Also, this is my fresh colored hair, which is so fantastic. It's kind of a shame that it's a little bit wet, but the color is so nice and so bright and so blonde, and I'm obsessed with it, and it's just so much fun and so perfect for fall. Bright blonde hair is just fall hair, you know what I mean? I'm totally kidding. It's not fall hair at all. I still want it to be summer, and because I'm in Texas, it's super duper hot, so I can kind of wear blonde hair all the time, and I love it. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let's get into the video. So first, I'm going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape. This is just a little sample that I got from Sephora, but I'm going to go in with the lightest shade, which is the shade Light. And if it looks a little bit light on my skin tone, then I'll try light medium, but I'm probably more fair than the sample that they have provided. So we're going to just kind of see how it wears, see my first impression of it. And if for some reason this shade is too dark, just bear with me because I kind of really want to get a first impression of what this product looks like, whether or not it's the perfect shade match. So I'm just going to start. Wow, this is very thick. My first impression is this is a lot thicker than I thought it would be, so a little bit probably goes a long way. And shade-wise, this looks like a pretty good shade match. I would say the shade Light is a little bit on the pinky side for my actual skin tone, so if I were to purchase this, I would probably get a more neutral shade. Wow, this is so full coverage, y'all. About to sneeze. Excuse me. I am just blending it out with my finger, but I'm gonna go grab a sponge because this is really thick and it's gonna take me forever to blend this out. So I'm just spraying my sponge with a little bit of rose water spray to add a little bit of moisture because this is a very dry concealer, and although I have really oily skin, I definitely have drier under eye area ness. This shade is way too pink for my skin tone. Like, I'll kind of let you guys see close up. It's really pink for my skin tone. So I might want to grab light medium, but I want to see how this blends out. Definitely dries down pretty quickly, so you want to work kind of fast, and it is very thick. First impression, it's looking very dry underneath my eyes, and the coverage on the rest of my skin I'm not totally obsessed with, so I'm going to just go in with the shade Light Medium. This is definitely a little bit darker, but I'm hoping it'll match my skin tone a tiny bit better. And I'll add a little bit more under the eyes, and I'm actually going to try blending it out with my fingertip just to see if that helps kind of warm it up. Yeah, this is a very full coverage concealer. If you like full coverage, this is probably right up your alley and perfect for you. If you are a little bit more like me and don't really like a full coverage concealer, this might not be for you. Wow, that shade is way too dark. Do you guys see that? Okay, we're gonna just kind of pick up some of the product with my sponge. So shade-wise, I probably would be Fair Light Neutral. I know in the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation, pretty much all Tarte products I'm Fair Light Neutral, and that's more of my shade. So this is definitely a little bit dark and pink for my skin tone. It's just looking really dry, so I did spray a little bit more of that rose water spray. So hopefully this kind of helps to bring a little bit of moisture back. Coverage wise, I think it does do a really nice job. I think if I had the right shade, I could really make it look a lot better. You guys know that I don't wear foundations, so by having a concealer that's the wrong shade, it really does kind of make all this look weird. I do have a little blemish right here that I'm having a little bit of trouble to cover up just because the shade is so pinky that it really looks weird on my skin tone, but I'll try to blend it in with my finger and make it look a little less pink. So let me zoom you guys in on the eyes just so you can see what my under eyes look like. They're definitely already creasing, and I do feel like I have a lot of dryness, and there's definitely discoloration between my actual skin tone and the shade of this concealer. I don't think that has anything to do with the concealer being bad. I think it's just the wrong shade, which is totally fine, but I still want to make a first impression of this. What do you guys think? I don't know if you can hear my dogs barking in the background, but if you can, I'm so sorry. So before I set my face, I am going to go in with another first impression. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Dusk. I did try this at the NYC showroom, but my aunt actually picked up this shade for me and sent it over, and so I'm going to give a first impression on camera just because I haven't used it since I tried it in the showroom, and I didn't actually buy it when I was in the showroom because I wasn't sure how I felt about it. So what I'm going to do is kind of use this to drape, which is essentially contouring with blush. You guys know I'm not the biggest fan of blush in general, but what I really liked about this shade was the fact that it was a little bit more of a bronzy shade. So I'm going to just blend it out with my fingertip. I'm trying to bring it into the apples of my cheeks as well because I do want some pigment there. Okay, so that is what this shade looks like blended out, and I gotta say it blends absolutely beautifully because this is my first time putting it on my skin, on like clean skin, not over powdered makeup. Blending it with the fingertips is kind of annoying, says the girl who always blends her concealer with fingertips. I like how it provides a sheer wash of color, and it's super duper pigmented. I've seen people who really don't love this, and I don't know why, to be honest. I think it looks really, really pretty. Well, now I'm going to set my entire face, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just went in with the Wowder from Glossier and set my face and my under eye, and I have to say that that definitely made the Shape Tape look way better. I think the Shape Tape is a concealer that really needs to be set with powder, and so I did just go in with just that loose powder, and honestly the creasing is looking a lot better. I'm still getting some creasing underneath my eyes, which usually doesn't happen when I use my Wet n Wild concealer. I usually don't have any problems with that. So I think just because this one is a little bit heavier, that is why I'm getting kind of that effect on the eye. I think for using the sharp tape. For using the Tarte Shape Tape, I think it would be a lot better to go in with an under eye cream. I have an under eye tightening gel that works perfectly with my other concealers, but I did use that before going in with the sharp. I can't talk, you guys. Let me try again. So I used the same eye gel that I used before I used any other concealer, and it just did not give me the best effect. And so I don't want to blame my eye products on the concealer. I think the concealer just didn't work with my eye gel. Both are great. I think it just didn't blend together. I want to try out the Shape Tape again, but go in with a more hydrating eye cream because I think that can make this look really, really beautiful. I do think less is more, and the more you use, the more cakey it would look. I like the way it's looking on my forehead. It's not looking too drying at all. Between the center of my eyebrows, it's looking fine. Underneath the eyes, like I said, there's a little bit of creasing, but it's nothing too serious. The shade is awful, and I really didn't get the concealer to cover up a lot of my redness. I don't know if it's just because the shade was wrong, but I really did use product and blend it out, but my blemishes are still showing on my face. I feel like my Wet n Wild concealer just does a better job covering those up, but it could be because I use that product so much that I know how to use it, and I haven't really worked with the Tarte Shape Tape yet to kind of figure out how it works. First impression wise, not totally digging it, but we'll see. I want to kind of let it melt into the skin a little bit and kind of let you guys know what I think. For the Glossier Cloud Paint, I feel like it's really, really pretty. It's really, really natural. I don't feel like I would want to wear this on its own. I feel like I definitely love how bronzer looks, so I do want to kind of bronze up the face a little bit, and so I decided I would do that on camera. I'm just going in with a fluffy brush and my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I feel like this is going to just help to kind of shape my face a little bit better. I think that blush is awfully pretty and really, really nice to layer underneath the powder. I really like how it's looking on the skin, but I'm kind of missing the warmth of bronzer, and I think because my skin is more yellowy tone than pinky tone, I kind of need the bronzer to tie everything together, if that makes sense. I do want to do a little bit of baking just because I feel like that contour line is not as sharp as I'd want it to be, and I feel like my skin looks very muddy and very, very pink around my mouth where I did apply that Tarte Shape Tape concealer, specifically on this pimple and around my nose. So I'm going to go in and just bake a little bit just to kind of clean that up, and I'll be right back. So baking is definitely not one of those things that I do all the time, but sometimes if I really do want to clean up my contour and just kind of brighten the skin underneath that cheekbone, I bake. And so I feel like with how much pink is on my face, I just feel like my face looks really dragged down and nothing looks lifted. And so another way to lift the face is by going in with highlighter, and so I do have a new highlighter to try out today, and this is the Catrice highlighting powder from Catrice Cosmetics. I have gone in with my finger and swatched this, and it looks extremely powdery in a swatch, but it looks like a very natural highlight. This is the highlight in the shade Champagne Campaign, and this is what it looks like. A lot of people have talked about this and have said that they loved it. A lot of people have talked about it and said they hate it. I was able to get this one at Ulta for very inexpensive. Catrice is not super expensive and it's cruelty free. So I'm going to just clean off my small fluff brush using my Color Switch. This is the coolest thing in the world. This isn't actually the like Color Switch brand at Sephora, but I bought this off Amazon for like $6. So if you want to see a mini review of this, I'll have the video linked in the cards. But this is so cool. It just cleans off your brushes so that there's no pigment or glitter or anything left on them. So I want to make sure that my highlighting brush is clean before going in with this so that I can get a real first impression. So I'm going to just really pick up and swirl the product. I've heard that you really have to layer this one to get beautiful pigmentation, so I'm going to just kind of see how it looks. It smells exactly like the Tarte highlights and the, what's it called? The Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It has that cocoa scent to it. So I'm going to just wipe away the bake and then I will be back to discuss my final thoughts. Okay guys, so final thoughts. So for a super full coverage concealer, I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape, Tarte Shape Tape, I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape is kind of overhyped. Now bear with me for a second because I know a ton of people love this and I don't want to cast shade or anything on Tarte. Tarte's one of my favorite brands. This is just a very full coverage concealer and I feel like it looks as good as my Wet n Wild concealer. Now it is, this is in the mirror, oh my gosh. Now it is very full coverage and I really appreciate that, but I feel like it's also not super full coverage. Like you can still, and my camera blurs out some of this, so I'll try to zoom you guys in so that you can see, but there is still some color from my under eye coming through, some darkness. The redness is not concealed around my nose. Now the shade I picked is completely incorrect and that's why this zit is looking kind of pinky, but even this zit did not get covered, none of the things on my face, and I just feel like everyone uses the Tarte Shape Tape and is like, it's so brightening and it's so beautiful, and maybe it's just the shade I picked, but I feel like this looks as good as my Wet n Wild concealer. So let me zoom you guys in so you can kind of take a look. I don't feel like my eyes look magically brightened. I don't feel like anything on my chin is really covered up. I feel like I definitely have some darkness coming through underneath my eyes. I don't have super dark under eyes, so maybe this isn't really being picked up on camera. I feel like around my nose it's looking kind of cakey and kind of crusty, and that's just like an initial reaction. And I feel like that's not, let me zoom you guys out. I shouldn't be feeling that way under first impression. It's just looking kind of dry around my nose. I never have concealers look dry around my nose. And even underneath my eye, I just feel like it's looking kind of dry, and just the texture underneath my eye is really emphasized. I want to give the Shape Tape another try, and I want to give it a try in my own shade. So I think I'm going to go by Sephora and I'm going to get a little sample or something like that so that I'm not wasting a full tube of product if I do buy it and return it. But I do want to give this another go because my eyes do look good. But the Wet n Wild concealer I feel like is just as good as the Tarte Shape Tape. So if anyone has any tips or something like that about the Tarte Shape Tape, please leave that in the comments down below because I'm not hating on this product. One of my best friends, Katie, swears by the Tarte Shape Tape and she loves it. So many other beauty YouTubers do as well. But my first impression of it is it's a really nice concealer. It behaves as well as my drugstore one. So it's kind of hard for me to make an opinion, but I do want to try it again and try it in the right shade just because I do feel like the shade I have is just a little bit pinky and I need to get a more yellow toned Shape Tape. In regards to the blush, I feel like this looks really, really beautiful. I did go over kind of the edges and perimeters of my face with bronzer, but left the pigment on my cheeks, and I do feel like it's a really pretty shade. I'll show you guys how it swatches on the back of my hand. But the reason I really liked the shade in Dusk is because I'm not a huge blush person. I feel like blush doesn't look the best on my face, and so I really wanted to get a shade that's a little bit more bronzy, and as you can see, this is kind of the shade, and it's just a little bit more, of like a salmony brown tone blush, and I think it looks really, really pretty on the cheeks. I do think I probably could have gone in with a little bit more product, but I definitely want to give this another try and maybe try layering it up more on the apples of my cheeks, because for right now I just kind of put it on the perimeter of my face and I think it looks really nice. I'm not noticing any separation or any lack of pigmentation. I think it looks really, really nice, and so far I'm enjoying this. I'll let you guys know how it wears and things like that, but you guys know I absolutely love Glossier, so it's really hard for me to use a product by them and not really enjoy it. I didn't really enjoy the concealer. I felt like it had absolutely no coverage and was really, really hydrating, but that might be a really nice under eye concealer to do underneath the Tarte Shape Tape or something like that. But so far, I think I'm enjoying this. I do want to make a follow-up Glossier video of first impressions of everything I tried in the showroom, as well as a follow-up on if I'm enjoying the products I do own from Glossier. So if you guys want to see that video, give this a thumbs up and comment down below, because I do want to film that, especially because I've been raving about the Wowder and just feel like I kind of need to do like a Glossier brand, worth it or not, just because I've really enjoyed Glossier and I've actually gotten to try all of their products in store. Just as a first impression, but I feel like it could be really cool to do that video. In regards to the Catrice highlighter, now this is definitely a natural highlight, and you really have to rub your brush in there to pick up any product at all, because just a light coat is going to give you such a unnatural, such a natural highlight, but it's like barely a highlight. So this is the shade right here swatched, and it looks beautiful on my cheeks. I think my cheekbones look really lifted and shiny and nice. I think it's just a very natural highlight, and I do think it has a little bit more of a pinky tone to it, and I definitely lean more towards gold toned highlights. So this is not my favorite highlight I've ever tried. To be honest, I would probably return this. I'm not really enjoying how it looks, and I have other highlights that give me the same look, but I don't have to just build it up, because I feel like with this highlight I really had to just go in and just keep building it up and up and up and up and up just to get a little bit of shine on the cheeks. It is definitely natural and really pretty, and might be nice to keep just for that purpose, is for someone who wants a more natural highlight. So maybe I'll just declutter this to a friend or something like that. But this one is definitely more pinky toned, and it's a soft highlight. The formula is nice. It's a little bit chalky. I would say the formula is very similar to the Pixie highlights, where it kind of has that chalky feel. So you're going to have a lot of kick up with your brush when you go into the product, but it looks nice on the face, but I'm not obsessed with it. So I would say final thoughts of all of the products I tried out. Final thoughts is, these are products that don't give you a wow first impression, and I think you kind of have to use them over time to develop an opinion. So I think I want to do a follow-up to this video, you guys, because I am not uber excited about any of these. I want to use the Glossier Cloud Paint again. The highlight I might use again, but I'm not completely obsessed with it. I just don't really like the formula of it. It's so chalky. Like, let me show you guys what this looks like, because it's just super duper chalky. And then when you go to just like apply it to the wrist, it just looks chalky, and it looks powdery, and it doesn't really, I don't feel like it looks super smooth. The Tarte Shape Tape I definitely want to try again, and I want to try in the right color, because it does look super nice, and a little bit does go a long way. When I use my Wet n Wild concealer, I really have to go in with 1 or 2 coats of that concealer to get more of a full coverage. And it is nice that with the Tarte Shape Tape, you just kind of go in with 1 little dot and your under eye is very much concealed. So who knows? Anyways, you guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm so sorry this was kind of a dud. I was really looking forward to all these products, but I feel like none of them, especially wowed me. I really enjoyed the Cloud Paint from Glossier. I think it looks really pretty and really natural, and that's definitely my style. The Catrice highlight is very natural as well, but I kind of like my glow. And the Tarte Shape Tape, I just want to try again. So I don't think there's any fails in this first impression, but there's nothing I'm like crazy excited about. But I will keep you guys updated, be looking for that video where I'll do kind of a follow-up of all the products I've used this month, because there's been a ton with skincare, face masks, makeup, and I want to let you guys know what I think. Also, you guys, stick around by subscribing, because I'm assuming you want to be updated when I upload, and I'm uploading a lot in the month of October, so you should definitely subscribe. I don't want to harass you and tell you to click the bell for notifications, but I actually love using the bell now for so many different people I'm subscribed to, where I'm like, I want to know when their video uploads right away so I can like look forward to watching it or watch it immediately, and it's so cool. So if you want to click that bell and be notified the second I upload, that'd be super cool, but if you don't want to do that, then don't do it. Anyways, follow me on all social media, comment down below what you'd like to see from me next, and I hope you enjoy this video. Bye, y'all!